And good morning, Kevin Miller in the morning here. The K-Millie Christmas cash code word is car. It is car. And want to make sure that you go to KIDOTalkRadio.com. That's powered by EGT Solar, the Treasure Valley's Solar Authority. We're here in Nampa, Idaho, collecting turkeys. Again, our final hour of the challenge involving Clean Extreme. They'll match up to $500 in turkeys. If you come by and donate a turkey between now and 8:55, Clean Extreme will donate $10 to the Boise Rescue Mission, up to $500. Anyway, we continue on here with our in-studio audience. You may go to KIDOTalkRadio.com to check that out, and we've got a lot to talk about this hour. Obviously, the issues involving Judge Roy Moore and the like, but we're joined by our great friend David Ferdinand. Thank you very much, David, for the donation, and of course, the Reverend Bill Roscoe of the Boise Rescue Mission. David, good to have you with us.
Bring a turkey, don't be a
turkey. Please.
Bring a turkey.
I think you know how to use a microphone.
Bring a turkey, don't become a turkey like Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, David. You know,
I knew it was something like that.
In all of my 49 years, it's become the self-fulfilling prophecy. Give a turkey, don't be a turkey. My parents are so proud.
I know. Well, it's
don't end up like Kevin. Yes,
it is the tailoring on your outfit that it just is incredible.
I'm telling you.
And he works for weeks, Bill, just to make sure that he looks just right.
I know, makeup in the whole 9 yards.
For that, for the. Can I tell you what? No, for the greatest role, one of the greatest roles, because he does so many, but one of the greatest roles that Kevin plays in our community. And praise God for this guy, because I know you do every day as well. But we do as well. What a great guy to come out and spend a week in these nice digs that you've got out here.
Yeah, we haven't caught anybody on fire this year, and we haven't frozen anybody. So
no
early indications are all is well.
It's early. It's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday.
Yeah. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Hey, how long are you? You're through Saturday at what, 6 o'clock?
Yep.
Man, so people have an opportunity to come out and really bring the turkeys this year. And I heard somewhere that you were halfway to the 5,000 turkeys. But tell me this: what happens if you get to 5,000 turkeys by, let's say, 6 o'clock on Friday? Are you not going to be here Saturday?
I have nowhere else to go.
Nowhere else.
Mrs. Miller put him out till Saturday.
He knew where I was going with it.
Right.
Hey, come out and just bring a bunch of the turkeys. We're going to have some fun. The fact is, my wife made sure that I stopped by this morning. She says, "Hey, here's the check. Run out there and get this." Get this check to Kevin and the Reverend Bill. So,
amen.
That's what we did.
Well, before we have our usual comedic segment with Reverend Bill, I have to ask you, David Ferdinand, as a person that knows all things the city of Nampa, all things Canyon County, big change in the city of Nampa.
Big change, yeah.
Of course, we've had changes in the county commissioners as well recently.
Right.
What's going on with all this change here in Canyon County, and really not only what it means to the folks at Canyon County, but over yonder in Ada County?
You know, I think, first of all, this was a big job, big transition for our previous administration. That's, we've got a new administration taking over in January, and so, you got to say, hey, folks, these are tough things. It's like the county. Excuse me, this jail situation, having been a big part of the solution to that, my belief is that we still, we're going to see some sort of pay-as-you-go kind of a program, I think. It takes a lot of money to make those things happen, but you got to do something. You got to start at some point and make it happen, because if you don't, you're kicking the can, as they say in Washington, D.C., you're just kicking the can down the road, and you got to do something. So, yeah, I think there's going to be some changes, and I think as far as for the entire community, I think we've got some new people, and it sometimes takes new ideas to move it past where you currently are.
Don't look at him, because then he'll take over.
In the administration. Well, this guy may have something to do with it. It's the heart of the community that still comes out, Kevin.
Indeed.
It's still the heart of the community, and I think that's what you've seen.
Our great friend David Ferdinand with us here at KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up You can hear Reverend Bill breathing on the microphone. He's panting. No, please don't do that. That's what they call tune out. Thank you. David's well familiar with that as a great veteran of broadcasting. As a commercial realtor,
yes,
are we in like the gold rush era here?
You know, there's so much stuff going on, and the city of Nampa, in fact, is at the last city council meeting. I think a lot of the people spoke that we need light industrial, we need industrial areas, we need infrastructure in the ground so that we can bring more companies, so that people are not driving 30, 40 miles, 50, 60 miles a day to go out, work, and come back to this beautiful community, that we can actually work, have a mixed use in our community so we can work and ride bicycles and walk and do the things that we want to do within our own community. So pathways are a big deal. I think getting people there, and people are going to see a tremendous change. The freeway is going to happen. You know, there's $150 million have been put together to make sure that the Karcher Road, Franklin to Karcher Road, widening is going to take place.
Well, we're bursting at the seams.
We're bursting, and so the infrastructure, Compass, all those elected officials have been working on this stuff for years that said, you know, we've got to make sure that we've got the transportation, we got to fix the roads, we got to make sure that we get this thing together, because, you know, what the old adage is, when they build it, what's going to happen?
Right, they will come from Field of Dreams.
Yep.
David Ferdinand with us. Coming up next, the Reverend Bill Roscoe. We would love for you to drop by and donate some turkeys. Give a turkey, don't be a turkey. BoiseRM.org, online anytime. But, you know, the idea of roads, such a frustration wherever you live.
Huge deal.
Now, you have a chance as a commercial realtor to deal with folks. Has there been interest for businesses coming into Canyon County, as we've seen in other parts of the state?
Yeah.
Not only from domestic folks, but you know, like we have the cheese plant, we have, international companies.
We do.
What are you hearing at the ground level?
We have some investment monies coming from all over the country to help their product and their product lines. You're seeing up and down the freeway a lot of new businesses at 10 Mile. You see a lot of things happening. Same thing happens when we can get the roads, when people can get where they're going in our communities. People are building out here. Take a look at what's happening to the Treasure Valley Marketplace. All of these areas are in fact growing, and in fact, right here in this area where you've got a lot of businesses that are now moving from a lease situation to a purchase in land, because they are now building their buildings and they are coming.
Right.
We've got there's several great things that are happening that I know that we're going to be hearing about in the next couple of months.
Well, you know what's going on.
Well,
you can't reveal
I know some
things.
of the things, but
you can't reveal your sources or anything. You can't break news here
there
today.
There are economic development people that are working as we speak to make sure that there are jobs when those people graduate from the C of I's, the NNUs, the CWIs, the Boise State University, so that we can keep our great treasure of our children, our families, right here in this area. A lot of people are working on it.
That's a big deal, obviously, one of the biggest. Let's go to Reverend Bill. We continue on. Of course, you partner with the City of Nampa, City of Caldwell, and in addition to that, Canyon County. We've got the Lighthouse out here. We've had got the Valley Women and Children's Home here. You've had a big partnership with the folks here in Canyon County.
Well, Kevin, we do, and as a matter of fact, this event is a huge benefit to the people, the residents of Canyon County, and Points West, for that matter, because when we have our great Thanksgiving banquets, we serve twice as many meals and give away 2 or 2.5 times as many food boxes and turkeys in Canyon County than we do in Ada County. And there's a lot of reasons for that, one of which is there are other outlets in Ada County. There's other places for people to go for a Thanksgiving meal and a turkey and a food box, whereas once you get out here, it gets a little sparse. And we're basically the biggest show in town when it comes to serving hungry people in this valley. And here in Canyon County, it's a lot. There's a lot more need and a lot more need met than there is in Ada County by this effort that you and we are putting together here at the Turkey Drive.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this. By the way, folks, give a turkey, don't be a turkey. We're collecting turkeys all day long until Saturday night at 6 o'clock, an event that David Ferdinand performs in and is well familiar with. This Can I speak?
Go ahead. Yeah. It's live.
It's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, you can join me at 5 in the morning if you'd like, and that would be welcome.
You know, I would, but
no. Oh shucks. Anyway,
It's called the blood hasn't gotten there yet.
so
66 years old, you know.
thank you for sharing with us. That is again what they call tune out. However, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, this event coming up on Saturday, David Ferdinand will be performing.
Yep, we'll be there.
It's an old-fashioned Americana free meal where you get a turkey and you get a turkey box. And if people want a free meal, how does that work?
Well, we'd like to have people pre-register, Kevin, and they can do that right now. It's been going on for a month or so, and we're registering for Christmas right now,
and
too.
Saturday is Canyon County.
Saturday is Canyon County. We'll be at the College Church of the Nazarene up there on Dewey and 16th. A great venue, great folks in that congregation that help us out, along with others from all over the valley that volunteer and help. Starts at 11 a.m., runs until 6 p.m. There'll be a great Thanksgiving meal, traditional turkey and mashed potatoes, gravy dressing, all that kind of thing. And we like people to pre-register so that we know exactly how many to expect. Now, it never works out quite that way, and so we're always ready for walk-ins. If you're listening this morning and you haven't registered, please come anyway. And if you need a food box and you haven't registered, please come anyway. Because what we'll do in that case is make a list of those who did not register, and there's always some who register that don't come. And so at the end of the day, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'll have extra food boxes and turkeys, and we'll be able to give those away to people that come in unregistered.
That is so important.
Absolutely. We want to serve everyone, and we go out of our way to do that. So please, folks listening, if you know people that can benefit from this, if you can benefit from this, please come, and we're happy to have you.
And again, just go to your website, boiserm.org, for more information.
That's right.
On how you can register. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio.
So I'm Kendall Thurneau, and I am the Children's Program Manager for the Boise Rescue Mission. Back in April of 2010, I was getting out of jail. I had heard about City Light, that they had a drug and alcohol program, and I knew I needed that. And I knew I wasn't going to leave until they let me in that program. So I literally checked in on a Monday, and I was in the program that following Tuesday. It takes a lot to have to go from jail straight to a homeless shelter. There's a lot of what has become of my life feeling, and you're definitely broken. But I think there's such a desperate need when you're that broken that you're willing to do anything. You know, I remember walking in the door and needing a meal and a place to sleep, and that door being open to me no matter where I was in my life, still being addicted. I got to hear the Word of God. I got to have a clean bed. I got to have a hot turkey meal. I got to have clean clothes and a place, and somebody to just say it's going to be okay. Somebody to just hug me while I'm standing there with tears running down my face because I've never been in a shelter before.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller with you here. Obviously, we would love for you to join us and give a turkey, don't be a turkey. By the way, the other major story going on is Judge Roy Moore in Alabama. Let's take a listen.
For being here tonight, I thank all the people in Gallant that have come at this late hour and for being here. I want to address what's been brought out on television today by Gloria Allred and a client that she has about things I allegedly did. I want to make it perfectly clear. The people of Alabama know me. They know my character. They know what I've stood for in the political world for over 40 years. And I can tell you without hesitation, this is absolutely false. I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her. I don't even know where the restaurant is or was. And if you look at this situation, you'll see that because I'm 11 points ahead, or 10 or 11 points ahead, this race being just 28 days off, that this is a political maneuver and has nothing to do with reality. It's all about politics. I'd like to let my wife make a few statements.
I've been married to this man for 32 years. We've been together for 33 altogether. He has never one time lifted a finger to me. He is the most gentle, most kind man that I have ever known in my life. He's godly. He's loving, and everybody in this community knows it. These are our church members. These are our family. These are our friends. These are people that know him just like I do. These things are false, and it's ugly. It's the ugliest politics that I've ever been in my life.
Thank you.
Judge Moore, Beverly Young Nelson says she'll testify under oath. Will you do the same?
Judge, could you tell us, do you know any of the people that have accused us? Do you deny knowing any of them?
And there we have it. Judge Roy Moore and his wife denying the incredible allegations against him. Traffic and weather together, then more of your... And we continue on. So your thoughts about what Judge Moore has said. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And when you think of the seriousness of the allegations, Judge Moore up by 11. By the way, on our website, you can check out a story I wrote concerning my 6 years of covering Judge Moore in Alabama, back when he was the Ten Commandments judge. And it's, again, another division within the Republican Party when you have the folks in Washington saying that they're not going to seat Judge Moore, that they're going to throw him out. And as I've said before, and we talked a little bit about this at the beginning of the program, this reminds me of a case I learned the hard way about presumption of innocence. And that was the Duke lacrosse case that I broke nationally, was on all the big shows, and it was a feeding frenzy. And sometimes the truth is lost. Now, look, right now we have allegations. And does that mean that somebody makes an allegation, whether they're 4 days old, 4 hours old, 4 minutes old, or 40 years old? You have a right in America to answer those allegations, do you not? And this is something that goes beyond partisanship, and that's the presumption of innocence. We don't know. But to have people say that all of a sudden they're not going to seat him in the Senate, here's the deal on this, is my understanding of the Constitution. If the people in Alabama vote him in, that means that he is a senator. Who is it, whether it's Mitch McConnell or Billy or Timmy or Sally, not to seat him? I mean, that's really the issue here at 580-5436. Most Republicans, most establishment Republicans, because they don't like Roy Moore. They don't like that he beat Luther Strange, or as they call him in Bama, Big Luther. They don't like that he beat Congressman Mo Brooks. They don't like that he was outspent. Judge Roy Moore represents those folks. Now, again, I don't really like talking about Alabama because we live in Idaho, but Alabama and Idaho are very different. Donald Trump, you say Donald Trump, he carried the state. You say Donald Trump here in Idaho, it's a very different vibe. It's a very different vibe. Most people here voted for Senator Cruz. They like what the president stands for, but they don't like his rudeness. It's a very different vibe. Here, more libertarian. There, more social conservative. David Ferdinand, you're Politico. Do you agree with me on that assessment?
Yeah, I think so. I think that is right. And are the people more vocal in an Alabama situation like that? Would they be as vocal, Kevin, in a situation? If something came up with a Raul Labrador, would we be as vocal? I think so. I think you'd hear from the Idahoans, don't you?
Well, I believe we would.
No, I'm not trying to start something.
But remember, it just took me a minute to kind of hit that up. But Congressman Labrador is elected, whereas Judge Moore is in the primary. But,
sure, right.
Just a broad concept because of social media. Talk radio used to be the bad guy, but now it's social media.
Yeah.
Now it's people on their jabroni phones. But where is the presumption of innocence anymore?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Anyone can make an accusation and absolutely, we've seen it, just absolutely ruin a career, ruin any kind of credibility. And some of the interviews that I've seen with the people that were interviewed down in Alabama, it was almost 75% where they said, hey, listen, I don't care what he's done. I don't care what's going on. I'm backing Roy Moore. I mean, you're just.
Is that your Southern accent?
No, that's just.
Is your Nampa Southern accent, your Western accent?
That's my South Nampa accent.
South Nampa, okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're right about that, and he has some of the most fervent, ardent supporters. I mean, this is a man who stepped up before the federal judges and wouldn't remove his Ten Commandments plaque, picked a fight with them. He's run for governor. He's done this. we will see what happens. It's interesting to see how it plays out. And if he gets elected, I believe that he will be elected. Now, you could say that Alabama's changed a little since the days of George Wallace, and hasn't the entire United States, based on the fact that you have Mercedes there, you have Honda there. You have big global industrial moneyed companies. They don't get any bigger than Mercedes just outside of Birmingham, or Honda in Huntsville, or Toyota in Talladega. I think I'm having them reversed, or Kia. It's really the Detroit of the South. Mm-hmm. With that, you have people that may not, for lack of a better term, cotton to Roy Moore. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we are seeing it, and that's one of the things that you mentioned. Because of social media, because of everything that's happened with how people get the word out, I can see both groups really pushing it to the forefront, and because they're trying to get to see whether or not Roy can actually make it work.
Indeed. David Ferdinand, we always appreciate your insight. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
My name is Jessica Kaufman, and I work in the children's program at the Boise Rescue Mission. And before I came to City Light, I was running the streets in my addiction. I was an alcoholic for years, and I was moving from state to state, and it was a very lonely, scary life. I drug my kids around with me from place to place, and I was very fearful and on edge most of the time. When I got to the mission, I had exhausted all other opportunities with family and friends, and the way that they loved me was unconditional, and I don't believe I've ever felt that before. They accepted me and my children where I was at that time, no matter what my background looked like, and it looked pretty bad, so I almost didn't think that they would accept me, but they did. And they were very loving.
And we're joined by Melissa from the Boise Rescue Mission. Thanks for your patience. You've been waiting a long time.
Thank you, Kevin, for having me.
I'm okay. The holidays, what does it mean for the guests in Nampa and in Boise this time of year?
I think it means a lot for the guys because Boise Rescue Mission is the only place they have, and having this turkey drive helps them a lot. So that's the best thing to do.
I'm with you. What type of people do you see?
We see like people who have drug addiction, living homeless, and some of the guys have been just having a divorce issue come every day to our doors and help them out. So,
right. And the funding, where does that go, and how does it make a difference? On a day-to-day basis. People are listening in their cars and they go, I got the children here, I got this, that, and the other, I got everybody with their hands out. How do their dollars impact people here in the Treasure Valley?
I work for the guest service department at the Lighthouse, and we help guys looking for jobs and also help them saving up their money and found their own housing. So the money helps them a lot with getting their jobs and also helps them getting their own housings.
That's very important.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Anything else you'd like to share with us as far as why do you do what you do?
For me, it's my personal, because I grew up in an orphanage, so it's my always dream helping for the people who are homeless and broken and see them change it around and having their own housing and say thank you. That's the best thing to do. So
right, it's you really personalize their victories.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Please donate.
That would make a difference. That would make a difference indeed. We thank you.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
Take care. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. On the last days of our Miller's Mission, we're going to be here until Saturday, but until 8:55. Our friends at Clean Extreme, they're matching your donations of up to $500. When you buy a turkey, they'll donate $10. Again, taking your calls on Judge Roy Moore, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. David Ferdinand, without disclosing what we talked about, we do sense some changes politically within the Treasure Valley. We expect a big announcement today concerning the first CD race. Let's not talk a little bit about that, but in general, how do you see this year politically? We just had a presidential race where we had record numbers of people voting. We had record numbers of engagement. How do we see this race for governor and the first CD impacting voter turnout and people being activated? As someone who has run, as someone who has been elected, as someone who continues to be in the arena, how do you see this upcoming political season here in the Treasure Valley?
I think we are going to see a tremendous return of those voters back to the polls again this year. We didn't see it in the municipal elections. We didn't see it. 17%, maybe 20 was the biggest. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of those grassroots people back out working because of the candidates that we're going to see. And I know we're not going to talk about who's in the race, but I think because of the positions that are open in the governor race and in the first congressional district, because when you have an open seat, Kevin, you know what happens.
Right.
Everybody says, look, this is my shot. This is my opportunity to fill that seat because you're not going up against an incumbent. So what you start to look at is who is the most incumbent-like in the race. And that could be for the governor's race, or that could also be for the first congressional district. You take a look at the players that have come out or are now running. Watch what's going to happen in January, because it's going to break loose, Kevin.
Well, David Ferdinand, stand by. We are going to our political director east of the Great River. She was just here a couple weeks ago with my dad. That would be Pat Miller Pat Miller and Larry Miller from New Hampshire. Mom, good to have you with us.
Good to be with you. Wish I was there in person.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of what you do, and I love the rescue mission, so I just thought I'd give you a little shout-out.
I had somebody the other day, I think it was Terry from State College, Pennsylvania, says you've canceled your mom being on. I said, well, you had some voice issues, and we always want to make sure that we have the quality here. So it right. Sounds like your voice is recovered.
It has. I actually want to challenge everybody who listens to you on Radio Pup and listens to you on the Internet to get over to that computer and donate online to the Boise Rescue Mission. I do it. They can do it. Any amount is good.
So you're challenging the online audience.
I certainly am, definitely. And you tell Reverend Bill, be looking for mine, because it's coming.
Well, Reverend Bill, I don't know where he went. I think he's buying underwear or something.
Well, that's good.
Underwear is a good thing to have.
It is, especially when it's cold.
Exactly. I didn't even think of that.
Well, anyway, I know you have a lot of other people that want to talk to you. I'm real proud of you. I love the rescue mission. I love what they do. I'm a big supporter of them, and I just wanted to give you a little shout-out.
All right, Mom, we love you. Thank you for stopping by, and, we appreciate you visiting here, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, love ya. Bye-bye.
Love you too, Mom. Bye-bye. Like I said, David Ferdinand here you and I are talking about politics back and forth, and then all of a sudden my mom calls in.
See, it's all politics.
And
it's local. How much more local can you get than Mom?
Yeah, Mom's a political heavyweight. She would tell you that. She doesn't mess around. I've gone toe-to-toe with her several times. Never won. But anyway, David Ferdinand, back to this race for to governor. I know you're saying it's kicking off in January, but we have three candidates right now. On one hand, we have Lieutenant Governor Brad Little. You could say the incumbent there has the advantages of the incumbency, has the advantages of being associated with the Hulk Hogan of Idaho politics, Butch Otter.
Right.
Then you have Raul Labrador, made his name as state representative. 7 years ago, did the unthinkable, beat the unbeatable in a primary and then a general, giving up his seat to all of a sudden run. It seems like all things are Treasure Valley. And then we have Dr. Tommy Ahlquist, builder, developer, and the like as well.
That's right.
So how do you see that? And we've really never seen in Idaho, maybe with the exception of A.J. Belukoff, to not to the biggest level, where you have this commitment from Dr. Ahlquist.
Well, and I think
You would correct me because you live Idaho politics.
Well,
I just kind of cover it. So
no, I think you're on a track here, but also know the flavor of what happened with the Trump race last year. Many people are saying that's what a Tommy Ahlquist brings to the race. He's kind of opened up that people that have never been involved before, getting registered to vote, getting out there, and I can also say that because of the position that Lieutenant Governor Brad Little has been in with the community, out amongst the people, up and down the entire state, all the precincts. He's been out there doing it a long time. That's where I think both the Labrador and Tommy are bringing people back into the fold that just kind of wandered away, I think, in some of the precincts. So
right.
At least that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that all of a sudden it brings more interest back into the race. Now, what does that do to the incumbent position, or that position where they've heard that name associated with the governor's office from Brad Little for a long time? So, I
think you're spinning me. You're not really saying anything.
No, I think what you're seeing is you're seeing some interest because of those two individuals that got into the race, and they got into the race early, and because of what's happened with Russ moving to the congressional race.
All right, let's hit that. And again, I think there'll be some big news after 9 a.m. today, and
we're going to have some news.
Right,
yeah.
We'll leave it at that. How do you see this race so far?
Well, I think as far as
now, you're a David Leroy man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I signed on early because of my association and the long-term history with you got a candidate like David Leroy that steps up and says, hey, you know what? Somebody needs to go out there and be able to battle across the table with a guy like Trump. Let me tell you, David Leroy has had a huge amount of experience, not only at the local level, but at the federal level as well.
Well, but a lot of people think, why is David Leroy doing this?
Yeah.
People say that about my age and such, and your age, and everybody's age, but they say, why is he doing it? But look, he's as old as the President of the United States, and he seems to be doing well. So we've got, let me see if I have all the contenders here. So we have Nick Henderson, a combat veteran and a pilot.
Right.
We have Michael Snyder, who's a best-selling author and on InfoWars. We have, and then we have, Representative Malik of the Coeur d'Alene region, who's a graduate of College of Idaho, has subtle but strong ties to the Treasure Valley. We have Russ Fulcher, former former Senate Majority Caucus leader, who ran a big campaign against Governor Otter, 41% of the primary vote statewide.
Right.
And we have David Leroy, who has served with distinction, has run and won statewide, who has, props to him, like everybody else, has decided to serve. So that's where we are until we have, possibly another addition to the race. So right now, let's take a look at this. If you're every candidate besides David Leroy, which we've covered,
right,
how do you see this playing out? And is this different from what we saw with Vaughn Ward versus Raul Labrador 7 years ago?
Yeah, I think it is different. The number of people that you put into a race really starts to dilute that grassroots work. And boy, I'll tell you, they say money is the milk of all politics. Let me tell you, volunteers and people that are out there, that represents that money. It's like the guy that sticks a yard sign out in somebody's yard or along a roadway without stopping and talking and getting the vote. I mean, the people that have a lot of money sometimes don't get all the votes. Now, as far as and because of what Russ Fulcher did do in the governor race against Butch Otter in the Treasure Valley, a lot of people are saying there's where they would put their money at this point.
As
so
of right now.
As of right now.
As of right
but
now.
Now, if you have other people that come into the race and you've got 7 people in the race, what happens in that kind of a race, Kevin?
Well, and if they're all here.
That's right.
Is that advantage or disadvantage? To be continued. David Ferdinand, we so appreciate you. And looking forward to covering politics this year. It's going to be a big year.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people out there committed.
Now, is this similar to 2010 or not in the first CD? Don't you have bigger names with respect?
I think you have bigger names. I think you have. Here's the other part of it I see is the organizations that are already in place.
Right.
Those organizations that are already in place. Somebody that comes in late, they better make sure that they've got their organization ready to go.
How would you just say it's late and it's only November?
Well,
you know that shows you how competitive all those races
jump in
are
early for a reason.
David Ferdinand, thank you for jumping in. Thank you for your kind donation.
Bring
you for
a turkey.
Always. Don't be a turkey.
That's right.
All right. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And good morning. Breaking news this morning, as we've been teasing all morning long, the first congressional race gets one more candidate. State Representative Christy Perry is announcing today she officially files for the seat. She and her husband, Matt Perry, are co-owners of Buckhorn Gun Shop in Boise. So we have Christy Perry coming in. Before we get to our big announcement here, quickly, David Ferdinand, how does this change the race?
New personality, and what did she just do? She is the female in the race. Being a legislator in the state of Idaho, and in my opinion, she's got a lot of followers. She's got a lot of people where she's worked through some situations that are pretty excited about what Christy stands for now. So,
well, could she be the Sherry Ibarra of the first congressional district?
She could be.
All right. So again, Christy Perry will join us. Representative Perry will join us tomorrow morning, right here at 7:05. They are traveling right now. So again, this race gets even bigger.
Bigger race.
Amazing. So this could be the race to watch when we're talking politically. So again, our announcement, breaking news: Representative Perry, Christy Perry, has announced her candidacy for the first congressional district. Traffic and weather together, and here we go. We're joined by Melissa and your husband. What's his name?
Joe.
Husband Joe. Okay. Well, Joe's always here. And you're owners of Clean Extreme, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I want to make sure I got the name right, because earlier today you made a pledge. And Melissa and Joe, please tell us what you pledged, and we'll go from here.
Well, we believe in the opportunity that you're bringing to families across the Treasure Valley, and we want to encourage families to reach out for help. It's not a bad thing to ask for help.
Sure.
But to do that, we got to have programs like Miller's Mission and the Boise Rescue Mission and programs across the valley that step up and help these families. And to do that, to encourage that, my husband and I from Clean Extreme, owners of Clean Extreme, we service the Treasure Valley ourselves, have made a pledge that your show today, any donation that was made, every turkey that was donated, we pledged $10 towards, and we would match up to $500. And my husband and I are super excited to say that you guys made that pledge, and we're able to make this check for $500 out to the Boise Rescue Mission.
Big round of applause, everybody. How does it feel to do that?
Oh,
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's an opportunity I wish more people would really just kind of step up to. It's not a dollar amount that's important. It's the opportunity to help people that truly take away from this. We get to give our kids the joy of knowing that what we've done, and we're teaching them through this, that you can help no matter what you do. And hard work leads to more opportunities to continue to give back, which is where my husband and I have gotten to. I didn't start here, and we're not going to end here. We're going to keep moving forward with programs in the valley.
Joe, anything you'd like to say?
Well, it's just a great opportunity, and I appreciate all the kind hearts out there that helped, make this possible. Because without people, there is, the lack of compassion. And when people come with that compassion, it brings an opportunity for our, our faith to display itself.
Well, thank you both. Thank you all. Big round of applause again. Good day. God bless.